A blueprint for a South Africa free of racism and inequality. Adopted at the Congress of the People, a mass gathering of some 3,000 delegates from diverse backgrounds. It came amid years-long resistance to white minority rule, 7 years after the National Party came to power, formalizing apartheid, and in the wake of the Defiance Campaign of 1952.
It was actually the first time 70 years ago that we succeeded in bringing our people together on such a scale. What was it? 3,000 delegates from 4 different major organizations. So the ANC, the Congress for Democrats, the Indian Council, and the South African Coloured organization. All of them together in Kliptown, acting on an idea that was brought forward by Dr. Z.K. Matthews 2 years before. And I'm sure he did not foresee that it would become such an amazing gathering. So the gathering in itself, keeping in mind that apartheid was formed became official policy in 1948, and the minority government was so determined to make sure that apartheid would be in control of every single facet of our lives. So there was the one law after the other at every single level. So everybody understood that this gathering was going to be important.
The Charter, with its 10 principles, came about as a result of a massive on-the-ground campaign to garner the people's freedom demands for a just and equal society, and it became a beacon of inspiration for the continued struggle for freedom.
I think, Vanessa, that the Freedom Charter is actually one of the most important and most decisive political documents of the 20th century. And in my view, in terms of the goals it set for itself, in terms of who it brought together in South Africa, for us, in many ways, perhaps more important even than those important documents, the UN Charter and all those things that are now so dominated by the views of the Western powers who do with international law just what they want. So it had no meaning for them, while the Freedom Charter had meaning for us then, and should have meaning and will have meaning for a new generation now.
70 years on, and 3 decades after the end of apartheid, Boesak says the vision of the Freedom Charter has not yet been realized. South Africa remains one of the most unequal societies in the world. Millions of people live in informal dwellings and millions are unemployed.
There is really nothing in our education system that reflects the ideals of the Freedom Charter. There is nothing in our economic policy. You cannot embrace the Freedom Charter and mention it as if you are going to follow it, and then you follow neoliberal capitalism, which is the exact opposite. We do not have an economic system that allows the people to take control of the wealth that belongs to them. We do not have a system that allows the people to reclaim the land. As the Freedom Charter says, the land must be redivided, redistributed. And all of that land issue is with Mayabuye in the background, because by the time we get to the Freedom Charter, Mayabuye Africa, restore Africa to its people, to its owners, to its rightful owners, that's been around then since the early 1920s. So that's almost a given, that's an unspoken framework. So when the Freedom Charter talks about the land in any way whatsoever, keep Mayabuye in mind first, so that the land is first restored to its people, and then you make the claim it belongs to all of us after the owners have been given the recognition that this is their land.
Boesak believes that it is now up to the new generation and those who still hold fast to its vision to reclaim the Freedom Charter and implement it as envisioned by its authors 7 decades ago. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.